Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another video. It's been a big Arsenal week. Let's do this intro and let's get right into it. Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel and another video. And yeah, I'm here by myself. I didn't want to call the guys in. Most of the usual crew that I have. We've all done podcasts about this game multiple times, so I didn't want to get them to come on again and go through it and repeat ourselves. But yeah, just to keep consistent, to keep with the flow of doing every game this season, and just with a little bit of time that we've got before Palace tomorrow, I thought I'd just come on here by myself quick and give it a bit of a rundown of what's happened. So, going in the chronological order that we've got, obviously Arsenal ended up playing Brentford at home. It was a 1-1 draw in the end, and Arsenal started the game with a changed side due to the Real Madrid game in the midweek. Partey had to move to right back, Kieran Tierney coming at left back, and Jorginho and Zinchenko come into the midfield. And then Weary and Trossard started in the forward line. And, Brentford nearly scored early through a Aya after a great bit of play on the wing from Mbuemo. And Mbuemo still continues to impress, still one of the best players I've seen in the league this season. And I know that he also plays in that right wing space. And I know that if he was to leave, he'd probably want to leave to somewhere where he'd start every week. But I would still, if Arsenal could, if it was an option, I would still be looking to go all out on Mbuemo in the summer. I think he's a tremendous player, and I think you could play him all across that front three. I don't think you just need to restrict him to playing on the right hand side. I think he could play anywhere, and he'd be an absolute asset for Arsenal. But yeah, we then have the Gabriel Martinelli incident with Norgard, and I still have no clue how this wasn't given as a red card on the day. It's an absolutely disgraceful challenge from Norgard, and should have warranted a red card. But then Saliba, he pinged a pass into Martinelli, who couldn't get his shot off properly, and Rice had a chance saved after an amazing run. And then Trossard, he then tested Flecken from long range. And we also had the Tierney goal that was ruled out for offside, which I and many other Arsenal fans were gutted, but he was clearly off. And, I was hoping for a moment of potentially them forgetting to draw their lines. But yeah, they don't do that for Arsenal goals, sadly, in these games between Arsenal and Brentford. And Kieran Tierney, didn't get to have a moment there for Arsenal. But Arsenal then did score. It was a fantastic and brilliant defensive set piece routine. And then straight on the counter from Declan Rice, who ran nearly the length of the pitch before dispatching it to Thomas Partey, who rifled it home. And it was a fantastic move and a fantastic goal from the Arsenal. And then Brentford, they equalised. And it was terrible defending from Trossard and Martinelli, and awful positioning from David Raya on the move, not alert to the cross when it initially comes in, and then he's not really alert to Wissa, who finishes it with ease. And Arsenal could have won the game at the end with Bukayo Saka taking the ball off the keeper, but it didn't come off for him in the end. And it's another draw at home and another moment of points lost in winning positions in the league for Arsenal before heading on to that game against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. But yeah, man of the match for that one, I'm going to give it to Thomas Partey. Not just for his goal. I thought, in terms of playing out of position, I thought that was one of Thomas Partey's best games when he's played right back for Arsenal. I thought he was fantastic on the day. So yeah, going into the Bernabeu now, and Arsenal versus Real Madrid, and Arsenal come into that one with the best lineup that we could put out on the day. And again, just wow, just wow. I mean, Arsenal suffered an early Madrid onslaught with Mbappe scoring an offside goal, but we survived that. And then Saka tested an early cutting effort, cuts in as he does and forces a save from Courtois. And then we get our penalty. And I can't believe the difference between the VAR in Europe and the VAR in the Prem. This is a penalty that would never get given in the Premier League. But yet these European referees who actually do watch things, who actually do talk about things, who actually bring stuff to the ref's attention, regardless if they're mates or not. They actually ref the game and do the job that they're meant to do. He was clearly impeding Moreno's run. It was a silly tackle to make, and Saka goes up to take it, and I couldn't believe it when he missed. I couldn't believe it when he missed. I was absolutely raging when he missed this penalty. I thought to go, 4-0 up, that would have just sent them into a complete and utter spiral, and then we could have just picked them off on the counter. But yeah, Saka then misses it. We then have the drama with the Real Madrid penalty, and again, even this, it took so long on VAR, but it was spot on. It was the right decision. I mean, it's never a foul from Declan Rice, and I'm so glad that VAR intervened and ruled this out, because he would have been banned for the first leg at home against PSG with this yellow card that didn't get rescinded. So he really, for everything that he'd done in the first leg, he of all people deserves to be playing in that semi-final against PSG, and he was superb again on the day. Timber, he then had a chance that he blasted over after an Odegaard free kick, and Rice, he also drives through and sets one up for Martinelli that forced a save. But second half, Arsenal, we get the goal, and it's an absolutely brilliant flick on from Moreno into Saka, and Odegaard then makes a lovely pass into Rice and Moreno again, and Moreno lays a pass into Saka, who lobs Courtois. And I mean, I love that still picture of him smiling as he's dinking the ball over the top of him. It's such a cool picture. And I mean, Neil, who he's constantly on here, and we got him on Purely, and he's on Arsenal Above All and everything. And he summed it up best, I think, when he was with me on Purely the other day, where most people missing a penalty like that, it could absolutely curtail them. It could really mentally break them, missing a penalty in such a key moment. I mean, we saw what happened with him in the Euros. He bounced back. We saw what happened when he missed the one at West Ham. He's bounced back, and yeah, he missed one earlier in this game, but to go and score that level of goal against the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion, in Courtois, just shows the levels of this guy as a player, not just as a player, but just the confidence within the man himself. It's a superb goal. And then yeah, Real Madrid, straight away, Saliba, he just didn't notice David Raya when he passed in the ball, didn't notice Vinicius behind him. We go run one, and right away, it's a painful moment that you wish didn't happen. I mean, I would have loved for Arsenal's defence across both those games to come away with clean sheets, because I think we deserved them. I think we defended so well in both those games, and yeah, we deserved the clean sheets in both. But then we make it 2-0. Moreno again. It's into Gabriel Martinelli for a classic Gabriel Martinelli finish and goal, and it's just utter euphoria. It's just utter euphoria. I mean, I was borderline in bits here watching the game on the TV. I know the fans in that stadium were so loud, and they put you right at the top, but you could hear everything even through the TV. You could hear that Thierry Henry chant. You could hear the songs for Martinelli, the songs for Saka, the Arteta, LA, all of them that we've supposedly stole. Pretty much every football chant that exists is stolen from another club somewhere along the line. But because it's Arsenal doing it, we're thieves apparently. But there we go. The irony of Scousers calling Arsenal thieves is quite funny. But there we go. But yeah, just what a superb moment, and we're into the semi-final. And for that one, again, got to give the man of the match to this man, Declan Rice. I thought he was absolutely superb again on the day. What a performance from him over both legs, and he is really stepping up now and really showing himself as exactly what Arsenal bought him for. He's leading us. He's carrying games with his driving, and just everything that he does, his leadership quality. He's a real force in that midfield, and yeah, I can't wait till we play PSG and see what he does in that game, even from the six, because he can, whatever position you're putting him in, he's delivering, and that's all you can ask from this man. And it was superb. And then we've got obviously this moment here with the parallels, like I said, to the Thierry Henry moment back in 2006, and you got Martinelli there doing his celebration, and Bukayo Saka at the bottom there doing the Henry one. what a great moment and what a great game that is. But moving on from there, we then go into the game against Ipswich Town and Arsenal. We come into this one swapping the lineup again. Ben White coming in for Timber, Zinchenko coming in for Lewis Skelly, but still maintaining a strong lineup with Declan Rice moving into that number 6 role and Moreno going into his midfield 8 role and Trossard coming in up front. And Arsenal was lively here, opening the scoring within the first 14 minutes. Saka caused absolute chaos down that right hand side and he put the ball into the box and it got a little nick off Odegaard into Trossard, who slid it into the net for 1-0. And it wasn't long after, and we had the second. And Saka, again, brilliant down that right-hand side. He plays it into Moreno, who produces a sublime flick assist into Martinelli, who then bundles it home for his second goal in a week. And I was so happy here, not just for Martinelli to score again, get his confidence up. I was so happy for Moreno here to be productive, not just in this striking role, but also in the midfield role that we bought him for. And I think it was a absolutely brilliant performance again from him in the midfield. I know it was only Ipswich, but he's delivering in every position that we're putting him in at the moment, and that's what we need. We're coming into a real crunch time. We got 3 potentially massive games. We got the 2 against PSG, and then the final, and we need everybody singing and dancing while we can. And as much as I feel the league is over, I think most people would concede the league is probably over now. Let's not go out with a whimper. Let's still keep that league record as best we can. I mean, I don't want to go to Anfield and get absolutely embarrassed, and I really don't want Newcastle when we play them in the league to embarrass us either. I really want to. We've been absolutely spanked by Newcastle 3 times already this season, and I really don't want a fourth. But then, yeah, the madness of that game, the Leif Davis red card occurs, and it's just an awful challenge on Bukayo Saka, and how he and the Ipswich players tried to protest his innocence on this. I'll never know. I mean, Saka, he is not protected at all, in my opinion. We've seen it before where England's golden boys, golden players, especially the ones that get made captain, they get away with fouls and they've been protected. But Bukayo Saka, even though he's one of not just Arsenal's best player, he's one of England's best players as well. No protection whatsoever for this guy. And yeah, he's very lucky, very fortunate not to have something seriously happen. And the Ipswich fans, they made me laugh because Saka, from this moment on, he becomes routinely booed, and he should have scored a couple of goals here as well. I mean, he fizzed one wide after his trademark, cutting in and run, and then another, he just couldn't find his footing properly, and he hit it wide after another lovely ball from Moreno. And Ipswich's best chance of the game, that come in the second half from Hurst. I mean, Saliba, he took a while to engage with him after the ball was played in, and Hurst curled his shot wide. But other than that, Ipswich never really posed any threat whatsoever. And Arsenal then scored a third from Trossard after a clever set piece routine. And Martin Odegaard, who on the day, I see what he's doing off the ball. I see the effort he puts in and everything. But there's times lately with Martin Odegaard where he's in fantastic positions. And you've seen before where he can unleash a shot, whether he's hitting it with power and venom or he's cushioning it and guiding it into the net. He's just not letting loose. He's just not firing shots anymore. And I have no idea why that is, because he's a very capable goal scorer. But yeah, the one he did strike, it did hit the post. He was very unlucky not to score it. But he's got to be doing this more often when he's in good positions. Don't try and play that risky pass or even that scoop pass that never works. I can't abide any Arsenal player really going for this scoop pass that we've done these last few weeks, because it never works. But yeah, Ethan Nwaneri, he rounded it off with a deflected shot after being played in by Zinchenko, and it was great to see Nwaneri back on the score sheet. I was a bit upset that he didn't get any minutes whatsoever against Real Madrid, and I can imagine what that done to him as a player, let alone me as a fan being upset for him. So yeah, I think any minutes that he gets and any goals that he gets will be valuable to him, considering what's happening here. And yeah, like I said, we need all hands on deck and all hands to the pump with these last few games going on. And Kieran Tierney big shout out to him. Got 100 Arsenal appearances, and that's someone you'd have thought would have got 100 appearances for Arsenal ages and ages ago. You wouldn't have thought it had only just happened at the weekend. But yeah, really happy for him, and I think he deserves it, and hopefully he can go out on a high because he's been a model professional, Tierney. We've supported him through injuries, and obviously when he's had a loan spell and then got injured and come back again, and he's been a model pro. He's never once whinged. He's never once complained, and yeah, I've got all the respect in the world for him. And then Butler Odedeji, who come on for his full league debut, and he nearly scored with his first touch. It was an amazing moment nearly for this young lad. But yeah, it must have been great for him to get on and get a feel for Premier League football. And it was a great week rounded off for Arsenal here, I thought, with this win. It was a really good performance and good result, especially going into this next little block of football that we've got. And the man of the match for that one, obviously, it's got to be Leandro Trossard, hasn't it? I mean, the 2 goals on the day, looking back to his best. He was had a smile on his face. He was playing. I've said times before that I feel this guy sometimes plays for himself. He doesn't play for the team. But yeah, I think he played really well, and it was a really good performance for him. But yeah, coming up next before we wrap it up and go, we've got Crystal Palace tomorrow night, and as always, I've done a lineup for that one, and I've got that here for you. So yeah, obviously David Raya in goal. I'm going to keep Ben White at left back. I want Tiba to ease up. I want Tiba to get that week off before the game against PSG. Saliba and Kivior, you got no one else really in that centre back position, so they've got to play. I'm going to give Lewis Skelly, the left back. I'm going to give him that position. Thomas Partey, he's suspended. I don't want Thomas Partey then going into the second leg potentially against PSG with nearly 3 weeks of no football. So I want him to play this one just to get the minutes in his legs and everything, get him going. And then Odegaard and Moreno. I'm going to keep Moreno in midfield because that's probably where he's going to play against PSG. I don't think he's going to be playing up front, so I want to keep him in the middle, keep him, performing in that role, in that position, as well as how well he's been doing up front. Ethan, I want Ethan to start. Saka, like I said, he got that nasty whack. Arteta said today that he probably feels he can play, he can have minutes, he can do something, but I wouldn't be starting him. I mean, if Saka, for me, if Saka, Timber, and Rice do start, I hope they get about 55, 60 minutes and then they're taken off. I don't plan for the full game because there's just, for me, the PSG game takes the precedent now. So yeah, don't be overrunning these players. And then Martinelli and Trossard again. Trossard for me, I think he's going to be playing up front against PSG. He scored 2 goals. Can't justify dropping him. He's got to go in there. He's got to play for me. And Martinelli, whilst he's been scoring, he's got 2 in his last 2. Keep him in. Keep that form going. But yeah, that'll be that in terms of everything that's happened. And then the game coming up against Crystal Palace, I've predicted 2-1. And I said Martin Odegaard to score, I think, on Purely. I think I said 2-1 and Martin Odegaard to score, so I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, before we quickly go as well, I just want to give a big shout out to these two. Yes, Jack Wilshere and Aaron Ramsey, the final game of the championship season coming up at the weekend. And respectfully, they're going to be playing against each other. Jack Wilshere, now the manager at Norwich City, and Aaron Ramsey, now the manager of Cardiff City. So that's going to be a big game down there in the championship. And I'll tell you what, I'm only 34 years old, but my God, do I feel every bit of 34 seeing these two becoming managers. I mean, it feels like days ago that I had FIFA 13 on my Xbox 360 and I was building a midfield in my career mode around these two guys. I mean, these are two guys that arguably could potentially, if nothing happened to both of them, they could still be playing for Arsenal now. They were both superb players in their own right, and they were just sadly injuries, and more so with Ramsey's case, just absolute vicious, horrible bastards that cut short any real big time playing career that he had. But he had moments even when he left Arsenal. I think he got an Europa League final with Rangers, didn't he? I know he missed a penalty in that game, but yeah, he got some big moments whilst he was there, and obviously he had some good times over with Juventus as well. So yeah, I can't wait to see what these two now do going into the managerial game. And yeah, nice to see you, BX. Yeah, two legends in my opinion. Yeah, they're definitely legends in my eyes. They were both absolutely brilliant players for Arsenal, and yeah, I wish them both well in that coaching journey. I mean, Arteta, he started very young. These two starting young as well, and I bet he's probably proud of them. You know, he used to captain both of them, so I bet that, if either of them get on the phone this week and asking for some tips, but it wouldn't shock me if he rings them up and wishes them luck himself, because Arteta to me comes across as that kind of guy. But yeah, just thought I'd do something nice, short and sweet for you guys, heading into that game tomorrow. And then after that, we'll hopefully get back on with the guys and do a more longer form sort of podcast after Palace and then preview for PSG. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening, and take care and enjoy the game tomorrow. And I'll see you in a bit. Au revoir.